Hey, how you doing? Wanted to pop this up while I could. I'm driving to work, so I got the light I got. I turned the AC off so at least you wouldn't hear that noise. I was in a Facebook group. God, I gotta get off Facebook. And I think the name of the group was, and I don't remember, I think I was invited there by somebody else. As a matter of fact, I'm sure I was. America New Conservative Movement or whatever. And I got a notification and I went there this morning, and what I read there, frankly, didn't seem too conservative. It seemed to be actually more Republican-y than conservative, where there is this movement by some that are branding themselves as conservatives that they're taking up all of the talking points of the left, of the progressives, and then they are addressing them, frankly, as if they're real or as if they're true. Now, these are, and I'm not talking about the hardcore libertarians who basically don't care what you do and are just a snitch away from anarchy. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about these people who really believe that they have an elitist sort of understanding of what is conservative and what should and shouldn't be. Again, now you want me to give you an example. This conversation about illegal immigration, this conversation that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez compares the detention centers to concentration camps. That's one of those things, in my view, that should be summarily shouted down. Summarily shouted down. There isn't any discussion. There isn't any comparison to the detention centers and Auschwitz. There just isn't. That is such a horrible thing that it shouldn't even be considered. Now, I'm sure this detention centers for people who have illegally come to this country, I'm sure they're not like country clubs, and nor should they be. But this whole idea that we, frankly, take up the terms that the left uses for this or that is something that basically gives in and gives credence to some things that the left is saying. I think that in itself is a problem. Another example, and I'll let you go, is and we've seen this in the past couple of days, the House is releasing their proposal for the relief of student loan debt. Somebody on Twitter that I respect, frankly, y'all know CJ, good kid. I respect him. I do respect him. But I think he's got it wrong, because he is upset that there is no conservative plan for this. What plan should there be? The fact of the matter is that that college is too expensive, that university is too expensive. That's the core of it. Now, the idea is not for conservatives to have a plan to relieve people of the debt that they got into on their own. Yes, after being lied to and falling prey to the narrative that everybody's got to go to college and everybody's got to have a 4-year degree and everybody needs to go to the very best school that they can't even afford because you need a loan, and that it's okay to spend $150,000 on a degree that's going to pay you $20,000. This is dumb. And now somehow that the U.S. government has to bail you out of your bad decisions. That's not a conservative place to be, CJ. That's not a conservative place to be. People now, unfortunately, are going to have to work themselves out of this mess. I don't know many of us who haven't had to deal with student loan debt at some time, at some point, And it is, for a while in your life, it's freaking debilitating. I get it. I totally get it. But these are decisions that you made. These are decisions that I made. And just because I made them, and just because I fell into the narrative and the lies and the deceit of the educational industrial complex, doesn't mean that the Republicans or conservatives have to have a plan to bail me out of it. That's the whole thing. You know, I got into this movement because what I didn't want was bailouts for people, companies that made bad decisions. So there's no place, especially for the federal government, to be bailing people out of the decisions they made, no matter what cajoled them into making that bad decision. That's not the conservative stance. The conservative stance is, and I'm going to tell you what I think it is anyway, is to those poor folks are going to have to work themselves out of it. They will. You will. And that we're going to have to stop listening to that narrative, that drumbeat from the educational industrial complex, that college is completely and totally necessary, that you must have it or you won't be successful. And because we know now that that's not true. So those people have to make sure they tell their kids that they look for something else other than going to a 4-year school, and that a women's studies degree at Vassar will not get you much more than a women's studies degree at Vassar. That's the conservative approach. All right, like I said, I told you I'd let you go. Thanks for coming to the channel. Thank you. Please, if you like the video, please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. We see you again. Go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We'll see you when we see you.